What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chip Overseas. We back with another video. Now today, I want to address all this chatter. There's been a lot of Luka Doncic narratives running around there, and I want to see if I can clip some of those in the bud before they get carried away. Lately, you've been seeing a lot of videos of Luka, his highlights of when he was 21 years old, 2018, 2019, 2020. They told me Bubble Luka was the best version of him, and that's not something that I subscribe to because I pay attention to the numbers. I'm not a huge stats guy, but you gotta put things in perspective with numbers, right? That's why they exist. So for those that are saying that Luka Doncic is, we wish he could get back to his old version and he needs to lose this weight. I'm not saying that he doesn't need to lose weight. Maybe he does need to chop down 10 pounds, but those extra 10 pounds don't really make as much of a difference as you would think on the offensive end. If you're telling me that defensively he needs to be more agile, needs to be more quick, sure. But he was never very agile or quick on the defensive end. The thing with Luka was you had to try to hide him as well as possible, and obviously it can be done. We've seen it get done with the Mavs. They hit him on defense. They rolled that all the way to the finals. So it can be done, and if you look at the numbers, his numbers are up since he gained all this weight and now he's a bad version of himself. His numbers are up. He was third in MVP voting last season. He's averaging 30 plus points per game. He's the number two scorer in league history, points per game. The assists are up, the rebounds are up, the turnovers are down. Like, this is peak Luka. And so I think a lot of people get it misconstrued because they're saying hey man, he's 25 years old. He's 25 years old, but he was a whole pro since he was 15 years old. And he was also an MVP level pro at 18 years old. So guess what? He's got mileage on his body. He's not one of these kids that came from AAU or Jackson Hayes that all he did was dunk for 6 years and now he's in the league with a fresh body. No. His basketball age, his real age might be 25, 26. But his basketball age is closer to 28, 29, 30. That's just the reality. That's just the facts of the matter. So I want to take a look at Luka when he was in Real Madrid because a lot of people say, hey man, old Luka this, old Luka that. I want to see for myself. Let's get a good set of eyes on this. And I'm going to react to some of his highlights a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on what I see when I look at a young Luka when he was 18 years old, dominating EuroLeague. I'm always off on a tangent, but for those of you that don't understand how serious it is that he dominated in the EuroLeague at 18 years old, he was the youngest ever MVP of the EuroLeague. The equivalent is, let me just put it like this in NBA terms. You got the NBA, you got the G League right under the NBA. If that's the gap between NBA and G League, the EuroLeague is like right here. And that's only when it comes to talent. Everything else, you got the CBA, you got all these domestic leagues. EuroLeague is the best level of competition outside of the NBA. And it's not just because of the talent, it's also because of the system, the coaching, and the rules. Yeah, this is Luka, Real Madrid days. Oh, quick move. Yeah, Real Madrid days. Luka, he's about 17, 18 years old here in this clip, in these clips. Taking the pick and roll, take the bump. Spacing was on point. The spacing was on point. Sorry, pacing was on point. There he is getting passing lanes. Ooh. It's a great fake behind the back. Luka's always so much, like when Luka's having fun, that's good ball. Like that's great basketball to watch. Luka having fun. What I want you to focus on is Luka plays a lot faster. Like decision making is going to be a lot faster in these clips because naturally Luka is a guy that he grew up in these systems. Like he knows how to play the international game. It's not new to him. The international game, you do have to kind of fire a little bit quicker because the defensive schemes are set up slightly different. There's always a big man that's going to be in the paint. They can get away with being a little bit more handsy. On offense, the ball moves around a lot more. Luka in Real was like about as ball dominant as a guard can be. And he was only 18, so that shows you how talented this kid was. All right, let's get back to the clips. Shot clock running down, but you see, when's the last time we saw Luka get into a shot that quick? Yeah, this is an infamous play right here. Step back, slip. Yeah, and now that circle that the defender slips on, people don't know in Europe, that is a slippery circle because it's a sticker. This is literally stickers on the court. So a lot of people fall in that area, but guess what? If you don't know what's going on, it just looks like a sick highlight. Watch his foot. See, it's slippery there. It's literally slippery right there, right? He's trying to get back. You can see his foot kind of he just loses footing. Great move by Luka still. This is like his patented step back move, right? But yeah, he slipped. That's a typical Luka move. Those blow bys. See, he used to get by guys with speed back then. Now he does it with tactics. Step back. That's a patented Luka move. Play with the ball. Play with the ball. Oh, that's the part right there that I think a lot of people they just miss him doing. I mean, when's the last time you seen Luka rise up and bang it on somebody like that? Get by the defender. Big man, you can't guard me. And that's where Luka was always dangerous in Europe too, because who guards him? You can't put your 5'10" PG on Luka. You got to put a bigger dude. And he's probably smarter than the bigger dude. Yeah, he was hitting shots like that all season. I remember this. I was playing in Spain when he was playing in Spain. I wasn't on his level as far as like the leagues. I wasn't in the EuroLeague or anything like that. But there was a lot of chatter about Luka. Everybody used to say, "Oh yeah, man, this kid is going to be the next big thing from Europe," and I was always hating on him. I said, "Nah, he can't be big, man. He he don't play no defense. He can't be big." Boy, was I wrong. Yeah, just using that baseline. So, one thing that pops out to me, and I think that's the second to last clip. So, one thing that pops out to me with these Luka clips is that one, he's just so engaged. Like, he looks like he's ready to play. Like, he looks like he's loving the game. That to me just says he was happy playing ball. Like, you can be really good at something and not necessarily be happy doing it. I'm not saying that he's not happy now, but I think that he was more enjoying playing the European style of ball because he grew up playing that way. What? That's not so far fetched. Like, that's like Allen Iverson growing up playing one style and Coach Brown allowing him to play that style, and then he goes to play for another coach and that coach says, "No, we don't want that style." Yeah, he's going to be happier playing for Coach Brown. Like, that's normal. But I think Luka is bored by the NBA. I think that he's so good. Like, he's pretty much maxed out his skill set. Like, he's one of those guys that put in their 10,000 hours. He's gotten everything you can get out of his skill set and his potential. And I think he's at a point where it's kind of boring him to play in such a... And when I say this, people get confused. The NBA is slower than Europe. Like, the pace of the game, you might get more shots up in the NBA because individually the athletes are faster, but in Europe the ball moves around faster. So like, you can never be as fast as the ball. Like, players will never be able to run as fast as somebody can throw the ball. So in Europe, that ball moves so fast and the decisions get made so fast that it's like, that's why I'm saying, like, the decisions have to be made like now. And there's no time to wait. There's no real time to think and process. Whereas in the NBA, you can take a high ball screen, get a switch, and kind of navigate. One person can navigate. All right, I got a switch. I want you to go in that corner. I want you to go in that corner. And you're waiting, and you're setting your man up. You're setting your man up, and you can literally do whatever you want to do. And it's a methodical game still, but in a different way. Because in Europe, once you get a switch, you got to swing it here, and we get looking for the high low to get the big involved. And, like, there's so many different elements that comes into play because the defense is allowed to play differently. I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. And the court is a little bit smaller, so the spacing is not really there. So I think Luka's bored. Is Luka bored? Is that what we're seeing? Because sometimes I look at these clips and I'm like, yeah, I agree with people. Like, it does look slightly different. Like, you can't really say that he looks the same now. But at the same time, it's a weird one because he arguably is better. Like, I don't know. It's, you know, it's a tough case to crack. And I do also think that when you talk about the happiness levels, that LA Luka is significantly different than Dallas Luka. Because Dallas, he was like, he really found a home, right? He had only lived in Olympia, Slovenia, Madrid, and then Dallas. And this is a guy, like, he probably likes stability. You know, they said he just bought a home before he got traded. So I think that he's not happy in LA, which is okay. And I think that's what people are seeing and critiquing as he's out of shape. Even his coach came out and said, yeah, you know, we got to get in championship shape. While, yeah, I guess, but he looked the same last year. And he was literally a championship player last year, or a championship level player last year. Certainly, he went further than they went this year. So I think that's a weird statement to make from JJ Redick, and I think that people are misconstruing the whole situation. Because if you look at how he looked when he was at his, I don't want to say his peak, but his peak European version, who was a championship player, it was just, he was fully engaged. And I'm sorry, the playing style doesn't make it any better. Especially the playing style that he's accustomed to playing while in the NBA. It's not that the NBA playing style is boring. No. The way that he, whether it's a choice or whether the coach made him do it, or, you know, the players around him kind of forced him into playing like this. But whatever the case is, I think basketball wise, because we know he grew up being challenged at every level, maybe he's not as challenged now. I mean, parts of that have to be true because the guy is clearly playing different and he's still getting his numbers. Like, some of these games, he doesn't even look engaged. And then you see the end of the game, he's like, oh yeah, Luka had 42. It's like, I remember this happened to me one time. I watched the first quarter and I was like, it's not really a Luka game, you know? And I clicked off the game. I don't know what I was doing. I did something else and then come back to the game and it's like, yeah, the Lakers lost, but Luka had 45. Like, what? And that's how this guy operates, is, yeah, he can kind of, you know, lounge and do his thing and not be engaged for a whole quarter and a half. Then the next quarter, he might get 25 in the quarter, and that's not far-fetched. Like, nobody's going to bat an eye if he does that. So, the curious case of Luka continues, I guess. But one thing is for sure. This man is a special, special basketball player. When he retires, when he hangs up his jersey, whether that's at 32 or 42, he's going to be remembered as one of the greats in the world. Like, you have a lot of players that were European legends. Like, I know so many from being in Europe. I know so many European players that never played in the NBA that are basketball legends. So if he never plays another NBA game, which is not going to happen, but if he doesn't, he's still a basketball legend, basketball Hall of Famer, basketball, put it however you want to put it. This guy's one of the best to ever pick up a orange basketball. So respect has to go on that name, and we got to understand what exactly we're looking at. Still a special, special kid at the end of the day, and he should be treated as such. Put some respect on that name. He did it all at every level. Only thing left for him to do was go win the NBA championship, and I think that's loading. That's pending. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you got a comment on the video, comment on the video. And if you subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. Peace.